very special guest in the kitchen. Now, if there's one thing that happens every Christmas in the Mathison household, it's eating pork tamales. And here to share her family's recipe is none other than my beautiful wife, Vanessa Mathison! My goodness, I'm very excited too. And you got to be honest, are you a little nervous cooking with me in the kitchen because this is not something that happens very often in the Mathison household? I got to be honest.
I'm a little nervous.
Wait, he doesn't help?
I will do my
helps
best.
Cleaning up.
Oh, well,
That's good.
You don't want him to help.
He does. He does.
Yeah, I mean, even if he's
I'm
trying to
helping
help
today,
sometimes,
everybody. I'm helping today. Larissa made her way over. Paige, Kim, Debbie obviously joining us at the counter. Here we go, everybody. Now, this recipe, you should all know, has been passed down in your family sort of through the generations, and now it's kind of in your hands. You're holding the lineage.
I've spent my whole life watching my family make homemade tamales, enjoying them for Christmas Eve.
Yep.
And now, yes, the torch is passed down to me, and we have tamale making parties at the house.
We do. Look, there it is. There. So the kids, we all line up, we get involved. And when I say we, I mean most everybody else in the family, including myself. But I'm in there through association. Look, I mean, Layla loves it. The kids there
They love it, and they
Luis
love
there,
the
too.
tamales, especially our son Lucas.
Yeah, he's
loves it.
He's gonna be the lineage holder.
I
as
want to
call
pass it down to Lucas.
Lucas, yeah, he
a
loves
lot
them.
goes into this. I don't think people realize how long it takes and what a process it is to make tamales, right?
It's a really good point.
Yeah.
And on that note, jumping right into it, the first thing you've got to, worry about, from what I understand, I'm talking like the expert here, is before we even get to the masa or the filling, we have to make sure that these corn husks, which we're going to be wrapping the tamales in, have been soaked for several hours. Why is that?
We want them nice and soft and pliable.
Okay.
Yes.
So that they can wrap the tamales well.
It's easy to do.
Now, what corn husks work? Is there, you got to make sure the dimensions are right. You got to make. What do we need to know?
We just want nice big ones. I mean, in a package, you're going to get big ones and small ones.
Okay.
Big ones are great. If you do get small ones, you could just overlap them.
Just double them up, overlap
Exactly.
them, make it work. You figure it out. Okay. Well, you guys are diving in.
Now, what
Okay,
about
good.
the masa?
That's
Tell me
it.
about this masa.
Okay, we're going to get into that right now.
The
All right,
masa.
that's the first thing that we're going to make. We're going to make the masa. Now, already in the bowl here, we've got the lard, we've got the baking powder, we've got the salt that's already mixed together. I'd like to point out that my wife used to render her own lard, which actually added a whole extra day to this several-day process.
Wow.
But you said that you don't do it anymore, and why is that?
Well, you can just buy really good lard these days.
Okay, good quality,
Good
right? I mean, Whole
quality,
Foods. I mean, I'm just saying.
She's holding down the household. She has 2 children to raise.
I will do it again.
All right, we've got the lard, the baking powder, the salt, all mixed together. Now we got to add the masa in, so I'm not sure exactly how we do that.
You want this to be on medium low.
Do you want me to start it going?
Yes.
Okay, medium low. That sounds pretty good right there.
Okay.
And Vanessa, what is masa? Like, I'm not. What actually is it?
It's corn with lemon, some lemon in it. Yeah, it's ground up corn with lemon.
Got it.
Okay, great. And you want to do this in little bits, right? You don't want to do it all at once.
Let's see if I can do this
Okay, good. I got you. It's all right. It's the kitchen. We're going to make a little mess. It's all right. It's going to stir up.
It tastes
and the
better.
idea is you keep it coming in here, right?
There you go.
Now, as this is stirring a little bit, how do you know when the batter is kind of finished and it's all made? Like you see it kind of coming together there like this.
Yeah, you
Thank goodness for this bad boy right here.
Yes, I love this.
So you let it mix just like that. How do you know when it's done mixing, when it's ready to be used and inside the tamale?
Well, the consistency.
Okay.
So after this mixes up a bit, we're going to add a cup of the chicken broth.
Okay, great. So we mix that up. We add the chicken broth.
Yummy.
It's so good.
And I noticed we're eating pork tamales, which are absolutely delicious. But if you wanted to make a chicken tamale or anything else?
Oh my gosh, that's the great thing about tamales. You literally can put whatever you like
Anything.
in it.
Or vegetarian.
Chicken, You can make sweet tamales. You can make, red sauce, green sauce, mole sauce, just however you want it.
Okay,
It's
very
beautiful.
good. And so now, obviously, before we start adding, we got to talk about the filling.
Yes.
Tell us what's involved here. What do you got inside this?
So we just have a pork with the enchilada sauce, so just super traditional. And you just...
How'd you make the pork to make sure?
Oh, right. So just simmer it for about an hour. Super easy in water.
And simmer it in water?
Yes, until it's like fall apart.
That's so good.
Take it out of the water. shred it. I like to use 2 forks to shred it. Then add 1 to 2 jars of the enchilada sauce.
That's easy.
Yeah, the filling's really easy.
The filling's like the easiest
So
part.
when does this get hard? Because it seems doable.
I know.
No, there's just a lot
Hottest
that goes
steps.
into it. It's not that it's hard. It takes so long.
It
prep.
does take a long time.
Okay, so we're ready. We got the masa, we got the filling, we've got the
Yes.
corn husks. I mean, I think we're ready to start making
Okay,
our
should we?
tamales together.
Let's see this, Vanessa.
So this is actually the fun part. This is where we bring the whole family in, all the kids, the cousins. We make like an assembly line.
Is it because of cheap labor?
I wanted to put you guys to work. I wanted to get you guys all helping. So is that too much? Yeah.
No, good.
Now, what
Just
about the ratio between masa and filling?
Okay.
What's the secret
So-
with that?
Well, that's a good question because you just make it how you like it. Some people love the masa.
I'm a little bit more the filling. I like to go a little bit
Yes.
harder on the filling.
Yes.
I love the filling.
Yeah,
I like the filling too.
I have to tell you,
So then
that
you just
filling
spread it around
I
like
could just
this?
eat alone.
So yeah, you're gonna
It's
get a
so
little
good.
messy. So you
Yeah.
kind of want to make it
So you go pretty
know,
thin
as
towards the edges.
even as you can, and you want to leave a little space around the edges.
Like a little bit less of
Yeah.
a space than I have.
It's all good.
Okay.
Sticking to
Okay.
Cameron's finger.
Good. Yeah, I don't know how you did that.
What are you doing watching the game when they do this every year, Cameron?
I'm taking pictures.
You're taking the
I'm taking the
picture.
pictures.
right.
Okay. And now we add the filling.
Yep.
Just
add
like
filling.
this. Yummy. Okay, good. And like I
And
say,
again, if you like lots of filling,
right? And like
add
Debbie,
lots.
Would you
of
ever do the pork and the cheese, or the chicken and the cheese, or is it always just kind of one filling? Am I going?
Well-
am I crossing a line here?
I kind of feel like it's just one filling, but that's a good point because actually all Latin American countries have their own version of tamales. So I have a friend who's from Guatemala, and in her tamales, she puts in olives, raisins, plums, and turkey.
Wow.
Yeah, so there's
actually sounds very
all different types of
Mediterranean.
versions from different parts of Latin America. So, but this is a very traditional just pork.
Okay, so now we close it up. We got to
now-
wrap it.
Yes. Wow. Yours is.
Mine's big.
I don't know if yours is going to close.
Well, we're gonna find out in real time.
so,
Okay.
okay,
You do the
one
crossover.
side over.
Yep.
The other side.
And you
over.
leave the top open. You just
Yes.
fold up the bottom.
Exactly.
Okay. I'm gonna
Fold
say
up the
that like I
bottom.
know. And
And
then
then let me give
What a
you a
great
little.
job.
So you can either use a piece of corn husk,
right.
or you can use just twine.
You know what Layla calls these? Layla calls these, as she's sort of usually on the tying part of the assembly line, she calls them little bundles of love because they take like energy and time that goes into each one.
How much time I spend on it? She's like, Mommy, these are like little bundles of love.
so cute.
So I'm like, that's the way I like to think of it. When I'm
Yeah.
like in the kitchen for the second day and I'm exhausted, I'm like,
Why did I
bundles
do
of
this?
love.
Bundles of love. Okay, we pop these in here. We pop these in. We add these to the
Yes.
other tamales.
Yeah,
You can
yeah.
put yours in too.
Oh, so they still have to be cooked.
Oh yeah.
yeah,
They still have to be steamed.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly right.
Because actually the masa is actually not cooked.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
How tight
Right.
do you tie the tamale? Is it
Oh,
possible to make
okay.
it too?
Yes, good question, because you don't want to make it too tight. Yeah, because they have to expand a little bit.
Okay.
So
So
just
And,
I kind of cranked mine a
I
little bit.
noticed.
So
That's
mine,
why I'm asking.
Well, thanks, Deb. Thanks for pointing that out.
and you want to leave, you don't want to jam these in either. You kind of want to have a little bit of space
And
in
is there
there.
water in
Okay,
the
very
bottom,
good.
or is there like a
Steam. This
There's
is
a
a
steamer
steamer.
in the bottom,
Yeah.
and there's a little trick to make sure that
Yeah.
the condensation in the pot doesn't drip
Yes.
into your tamales. You put another corn husk on top like that
Yes.
before you close the top.
Because the tops are open, you don't want that condensation water.
It'll ruin the consistency of your
Yeah,
tamales.
to get it. So,
You see?
yeah.
Good.
I know a lot about tamales,
Yeah.
everybody.
Good job. I'm so proud of you.
He's
Thank
been
you so
watching
much,
for
Deb.
years.
I have been watching for years from afar.
From afar.
Okay. And like the magic of television, here they are, the dough.
how long do they
Take these
steam?
guys out.
Steam it for about an hour and 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Be really careful that the water doesn't evaporate. You fill up the water when needed.
Back over here.
And,
wanna watch
then
that.
when it's done steaming, set it aside, let it kind of set for 15 minutes.
Got it.
And then, yep.
Go. We open it up.
And it should open up.
Boom.
Oh, look at
like
that.
Beautiful.
There it is. That's right. There
Well done,
is the
Vanessa.
magic right there.
Wow.
You have
There we go. Have a little taste. I
Sit
don't.
in there.
Okay.
You got forks in here, right?
Spoons, forks, whatever.
Yeah.
Just pick it up.
There you go. Cheers.
Oh, yours is
Yay! Oh my gosh, yeah, that looks
Might be a
hot.
little hot.
Really good. Yeah.
Cheers. This was so good.
Well done, Vanessa. For more on Vanessa, visit her social media. I'm telling you, some of the most beautiful photos you will ever see. And for the full recipe, you can visit hallmarkchannel.com.